Hello students, welcome to online classes of Shemstar Global School. This is Nabila Fatima. As you all know that we have already completed this chapter, the story of democracy. So this video is a revision video of this chapter and this is part 1. Now let's study the meaning of democracy. The word democracy is derived from the Greek word demos, which means people, and kratos, which means power or rule. So, democracy means rule by the people. Here, by the people means that it is the people who makes the government. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. There is a famous quote of Abraham Lincoln that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Here, of the people refers to the government's composition. It means that the government is made up of people. By the people refers to the people who chooses those people to make the government. For the people means that the government is made for the welfare of the common people. Democracy offers the people the choice of how they want to be governed and by whom they want to be governed. In other words, it allows participation of people in the functioning of the government. The two important principles of democracy are equality and freedom. Equality means that all the people are equal before the law and each one should be given the same benefits and opportunities. It also states that no individual can be discriminated on the basis of religion, race, caste, place of birth, or gender. It also abolishes untouchability. There are many freedoms which are given to common people in democratic government, like there is a freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom to choose their own government in an election by giving votes. Now let's study about the history of democracy. First is the birth of democracy in Greece. Democracy first started in Greek cities where people gather in one place to make laws. It is considered as the birthplace of democracy. This form of democracy is known as direct democracy, where people directly participated in the process of governance without any intermediaries or representatives. For the very first time, decisions were made by the people instead of the rulers. But ancient Greece did not see all the people equally. Slaves, foreigners, women were not allowed to vote. At present, this type of democracy is also known as flat democracy. Now, let's study about Europe in the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, power in Europe rested mainly with the aristocracy, means nobles, the monarch, means kings, and the church, and not the people. That means that people did not had any power. In the Middle Ages, a system of feudalism was prevalent in Europe. Feudalism was based on exchange of land and services. Under the feudal system, all the land in the kingdom belonged to the king. He would then passes the larger estates to nobles known as tenants-in-chief in exchange for their military services and political support. These nobles then passes the smaller portion of the land to other people and then they passes the land to the farmers. The king when passes the land to the nobles became overlord, and the person receiving the land became vassal, and the land is called fief. Everyone in the feudal system below the king was the vassal, even the nobles. But in the later Middle Ages, feudalism came to an end. Afterwards, they started following a system of representative democracy where people democratically elected government officials to make decisions on their behalf. This is also known as indirect democracy. Legislative bodies, which were composed of representatives of various groups, began to emerge in Europe. Our next topic is the Renaissance. The first question which arises in our mind was that what was the Renaissance? Renaissance simply means rebirth. Rebirth of the ideas, rebirth of the culture, and rebirth of the tradition. It refers to a revolutionary period in European history beginning in the 14th century when people began to rediscover ideas from the ancient past and question ideas that had went unchallenged for centuries. So, during the last phase of medieval era in Europe, that is between 14th century to 16th century, certain developments laid the foundation of the modern age. Before the Renaissance, Europe was under the authority of the church and people had no rights to inquire, and the people who questioned the authorities of the church were killed. Some rights were only limited to nobles or the rich people, and only rich could read the holy books. At this time, people started questioning about the various issues. People got freedom to think and act without being controlled by external agencies. External agencies means church or nobles. The word Renaissance means rebirth. It was a cultural movement which started in 14th and 15th centuries. During Renaissance, during Renaissance, there was development in the field of art, in the field of architecture, philosophy, etc. The Renaissance, however, was not just a revival of the ancient traditions. It also inspired an all round progress. It caused a new era in the history of the world. Our next topic is democracy in England. Now, let us know what was Magna Carta and its importance in bringing democracy in England. An important development of democracy was a document called the Magna Carta, which was passed in 1215 CE in England. It paved the way for the creation of law-making body called the Parliament. The nobles forced King John to sign the historic document which stated that written laws held a higher power than the king. For the first time, it gave all the free men the right to justice and the fair trial. It was said that no man shall be arrested or imprisoned except by the judgment of their evil. But unfortunately, the Charter Act only applied to free men. The vast majority of the people in 1215 CE were unfree peasants. To keep peace, Magna Carta was reissued several times until it was made the part of English law. Magna Carta decreased the power of the king. The king could not impose taxes without the permission of the parliament. Afterward, it has also given the freedom of speech and expression. Magna Carta was started by just a complaint, but by now it was a symbol of international liberty, without which we could not have a right that we value so much today. Students, this is your today's assignment. This assignment contains 3 long answers of this chapter which you have to do in your fair copy. This is question number 1. This is question number 2. Till here is question number 2. Then question number 3. Pause the video, write the answers in your fair copy and send me in the form of PDF in Google Classroom.